World War III ends in silence. No governments, no rescue, no rules. Two men remain in the ruins. One waits for help that isn't coming. The other starts rebuilding from ash. One dies with hope. One survives with action. The only question is, which one are you? Survivor versus citizen. The psychology of World War III. Not every man reacts the same when the world collapses. Some freeze, believing the disaster is temporary. Others evolve, instantly, instinctively, like a mind flipping a switch. This video isn't about predicting war. It's about what happens inside the mind when structure breaks, when electricity stays off, when no authority returns, when the world you knew stops being the world. In chaos, you don't rise to the occasion. You fall to your training, or your denial. Most won't starve because food is gone. They'll starve because they're waiting for someone to deliver it. By the end of this video, you will know which mindset survives, not based on strength, but on psychological adaptation. Stay with this, because the next 5 minutes will tell you something uncomfortable. Survival isn't about danger. It's about letting go of yesterday. When the world breaks, people split into two archetypes. One, the citizen. He is not weak, just conditioned. He lived in a world of rules, resources, and routine. He believes the system will restart. Leaders will restore order. Structure will rebuild itself. Help is delayed, not gone. Comfort is a right, not a gift. He waits because waiting worked his whole life. He trusts the past more than the present. He says things like, "Someone will fix this. Things will go back to normal. I just have to hold on." But normal isn't paused. Normal is over. And in a world where hesitation kills, nostalgia is not memory. It's poison. 2. The survivor. He is not fearless. He just moves despite fear. He is not ruthless, only realistic. Where others freeze, he adapts. Where others hope, he acts. He believes, the world has changed, so must he. No rescue is coming. Resources are found, made, or learned. Reality is not judged, it's accepted. He values adaptability over comfort, awareness over assumption, action over memory. He asks only one question: what can I control right now? He survives not by force, but by mental flexibility. The city is broken, but not empty. It breathes like a dying animal. Metal groans in the cold. Smoke twists up through silent skyscrapers. Two men walk through the same world, but experience two different realities. Citizen stands outside a locked bank door, shaking from cold and disbelief. He checks his wallet. Still full. Useless. He waits because money once solved everything. He waits because that's what he knows. Survivor doesn't even look at the bank. Paper means nothing without system. Instead, he searches hardware stores, abandoned kitchens, supply crates. He gathers rope, canned food, batteries, salt, value, not symbols. Two men pass the same building. One sees history. One sees dead weight. Night. Bitter, sharp, unkind. Citizen finds a dying ember beside a collapsed storefront. He sits beside it, hands out, begging warmth to stay. He doesn't feed it. He just hopes. Survivor dismantles furniture for fuel, breaks wood into shreds, builds flame from scratch, melts snow in a pot to drink, not because he's stronger, but because he refuses to freeze. One warms his hands, one warms his future. Road signs flicker in dead wind. Empty checkpoints, abandoned government vans. Citizen calls out for officials, soldiers, anyone in uniform. He believes structure will return. Survivor knows no one is coming. He takes leadership of himself. He creates rules,
Sleep here, gather there, move at dawn. He becomes what he once relied on. One waits for authority. One builds authority. These scenes aren't about survival skills. They're about survival psychology. Because what happens next determines who lives.
People think survival is strength. Strength fades. Weapons break. Luck runs out. Survival is adaptability. The citizen loses not because he's weak, but because he refuses to accept the world as it is. He clings to yesterday like it will come back if he holds tight enough. He cannot evolve because he cannot let go. The survivor wins not by force, but by psychological reality. He adapts fast. He accepts instantly. He acts without waiting. 3 core truths separate life from death. 1. The survivor accepts faster. Most people waste time arguing with reality. He doesn't. Reality isn't fair. It just is. And acceptance is the first weapon. 2. The survivor makes solutions. Citizens search for instructions. Survivors invent instructions. A broken world doesn't reward memory. It rewards initiative. 3. The survivor becomes what the world needs. When systems fail, guidance disappears. The survivor becomes his own system. He gathers, he builds, he moves. He replaces dependence with skill. He doesn't wait for life to improve. He improves to meet life. The story isn't finished, because the final difference between the 2 men is something most people don't want to face. The fires shrink. The world cools. Winter becomes the judge. Citizen remains among the ruins, surrounded by objects that used to matter. Keys with no doors, cards with no system, rules with no ruler. He waits for normal to return. But normal is just a memory now, and memories don't warm cold hands. Survivor walks beyond the skyline, into forests, mountains, new territory. He plants shelter, builds fire, learns the language of a world without order. He doesn't survive because the war spared him. He survives because he evolved faster than it killed. Not heroic, not lucky, just adaptable. If the world collapsed today, would you wait for rescue or become your own solution? Because here's the truth. World War III doesn't create survivors. It reveals them.